Happy birthday, big kid. Hey, what's your name? How old are you?
11.
Talk to me now, man. A speech.
Now, this is me as a kid. Normal, shy, scared, pretty smart, shirt's way too big, small sense of humor, mostly scared, felt like an outcast, very kind, very confused, but mostly just scared of the world. I've always just felt like I just popped up here and had to get in line and rush along and do the things people say I gotta do to live the life people are saying I gotta live. It would be that small sense of humor of all things that would lead me down this path of self-fulfillment, joy, and essentially save my life. Like, I'm not saying I would have been dead, I just mean like it saved my life from being a life that I thought was just extremely boring. Now, this video is specific to comedy, but it's nothing more than a story of a young cat following his instincts and his passion to find happiness and harmony. I know a lot of people may be at that crossroad right now, deciding between the path they feel is natural for them and the path that they may be feeling pressured to follow. I figured maybe this could help. Just like the sponsor of this video, Squarespace would like to help you create your website, start your online store, and take your business to the next level. More on Squarespace later. Now, I understand that saying comedy saved my life may sound dramatic, and it should sound dramatic. It is dramatic. But to understand better, we have to go back to how comedy was first introduced to me. I remember like always just being an observant kid, paying close attention to everything in an attempt to like grasp what was happening. I specifically remember realizing I was real and thinking, okay, I don't get it. What are we doing here? What's going on? Why do people walk like that? Why do people talk like that? Why do we care about that? Who are the Backstreet Boys and why is the song so goddamn good? How come I'm not as cool as Lil Bow Wow? So I was very observant like most kids, but I was also extremely reserved. The world was scary to me. I just remember thinking there's so many hazards and bad things. And wait, there's bad guys? Guns? People who offer you candy are bad guys? Tornadoes? Fights? Sharks eat people? I felt like the world was too scary to interact with. I didn't say more than I needed to. I saw, I heard, I processed pretty much with a straight face the entire time. Now, around the same time I was being terrified of existence, I also had what I feel was the first comedy seed being planted in my mind. And it was because of my dad. Now, he's always been a funny guy himself who would spend hella time watching Just for Laughs stand-up sets, prank shows, but spent like 99% of his at-home existence watching Seinfeld. He was a hardcore believer in not watching something twice, except for Seinfeld. Seinfeld has been baked into my brain by default. Even though I didn't understand the jokes at the time, I just pretty much laughed whenever my dad did. The first Seinfeld joke I do remember understanding was from this clip in the invitation episode.
They're arranged in order of price. The most expensive are in the front.
My little kid mind said, oh, it's funny because he wants the cheapest one. This is great. But what would really spark my desire to tell my own jokes was my kindergarten homie, Michael. I don't know where he is in this world. I can't remember his last name, but that's my man's. That kid was hilarious. Him being the same age as me made me feel like I could do it too. So from then on, I started to develop a sense of humor that I kept very much to the people I was close to, mostly because it wasn't great.
Look right here, child's lock. More like a prisoner lock.
Yeah, it's pretty much just annoying, but I would like work on it. I always want to think of new funny things to say to make my family or my friends laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Once they're coming up in the building.
So I went through the rest of this stage of my really little kid life, going through my little kid ups and my little kid downs with this comedic internal dialogue occasionally surfacing my mind as I experienced certain things. Still very rare. I was mostly still just scared of everything. I lived by it, follow the rules so nobody calls you out, get good grades or you'll be a bad boy, don't stand out too much, just fit in, get in line, shut up, don't say anything because you might be wrong, and shut up. But just once in a while something happens and I'm like, that's funny. Why does that work? Why do we even do that? What's the point of that? Now comedy became really funny and exciting to me around the time Chappelle Show was airing on TV. I got my laughs from my Even Stevens, my Amanda Show, my all that, my Mad TV. But Chappelle Show was different. It was risky, it was immature, it was inappropriate, there were bad words, there were farts. Him being a grown man saying doo-doo was hilarious to me. Here's one of the first few scenes I remember vividly laughing my head off at. My little kid mind says, this is the funniest thing in the world. Watching the Chappelle Show made me feel like having to be serious, appropriate, follow rules. I'm not talking about not following the rules that would stop me from smacking someone in the street for no reason. I'm talking about the rules that are social, the rules that keep you from talking a certain way, from being yourself, from enjoying life the way you wanted to enjoy it. Here's this adult on my screen literally having his fart blast him off a toilet into a series of front flips. If at that exact moment, I felt like for the first time, doing or saying the unexpected to make other people laugh and amuse myself outweighed staying in line so I don't attract a bunch of attention towards myself. Just for a second, that was not permanent. Still continued life very scared. Not too long after that, my dad managed to secure a copy of Dave Chappelle's Killing Him Softly HBO special on an illegally burnt CD. I'm not gonna tell you how he got it, I just know he had it, okay? And I just remember him playing it in the car and me thinking, how is this person this funny with just voice? How is this possible? I feel like that's when the lure of comedy stepped this shit up right there. But even then, it was like the reality world and the comedy world pulling at me in separate directions. I got more joy out of comedy the more the world scared me. Like this idea of school, career, girl troubles, being bullied, teased, not being cool as my older brother Ryan, not having abs. Like none of that shit mattered when I was watching something funny or talking about some funny stuff with my friends. So I'd often look at it like, all right, I gotta deal with the stuff that I hate so I could spend more time with the stuff that I love. I do all my homework, I get all that serious stuff done. I was a good ass A+ ass student. Yes. Now, did I hate almost every second of the lessons I was in? Absolutely. I don't care about trapezoids. Who cares about the Treaty of Versailles? I'm 13 years old. And my teachers love me. Oh, he's such a great student. Jermaine independently reflects on and identifies strengths as a reader. I was scared. That's why I was independent. Jermaine independently demonstrates an understanding of economic systems. I was scared. Science and technology, A+. You think I was interested in photosynthesis? These home videos with my siblings were my experiments to create. Be funny on demand and watch back how funny it was. This was the shit I was living for. Something I enjoyed working on. Okay, make this. Okay, make it funnier. How can you make something funnier? How can you make something funnier? How do you make something better? Yada, yada, yada. And then we started doing the same shit with our friends. We had the twins, we had LeVar, we had Julian, and we were always in our own funny world. In our own world, it was goofy, it was forget the rules, it was who cares. But then when we went back in public in front of everybody, we acted very normal, very reserved, and lived by the same idea of don't cause too much attention. Except for Trevon. He was very much, oh, let's see how loud we can scream. It's gonna be funny because everyone's looking. And this was around the time where I started to first bond a lot with Trevon because his forget the rules first approach was tempting. It was a good ass time. And seeing this comedy day in and day out just made me want to package it. We would record everything for no reason. I'd make up scenarios, shoot them, throw them into Windows Movie Maker, take a couple hours to chop it up just to sit back and watch it by ourselves. So in 2011, when we thought we should submit a video to WorldStar and become famous, our way onto WorldStar became obvious. Sketch comedy, or at least our version of sketch comedy.
Cat daddy syndrome?
Yes, cat daddy syndrome. It's a disorder that causes one to cat daddy at random times.
Needless to say, we didn't get onto WorldStar with this first video of ours, or the second, or the third, or the 10th, but we did make it onto WorldStar Hip Hop with our 12th video, planking the movie.
All you guys gotta promise me that you will not plank. Alright, Trevon?
Alright, man, cool.
Alright, Duran? Duran! This is crazy, man.
Not very impressive, but at the time, this was decent. We became mildly popular for the time being, and we definitely would walk around and have people recognize us from WorldStar. Now, I did get shredded in the WorldStar comments, which most definitely killed my high, but I still loved comedy enough that I continued. If you just got your ass cooked up on WorldStar for doing what you thought you loved, and you still continue doing it, you definitely love that. I enjoyed the feeling of having an idea in my head, and then taking it to the pen and paper, filming it, and then bringing it all together in the edit, and then to share it with people, to admire it with them, or get roasted. Now, although I was enjoying comedy a lot at this point, still had these questions in the back of my mind. Okay, so what are you gonna do with your life though? What's gonna be your real job? Gotta follow the rules. You gotta go to school or you're an idiot. You wanna skip college to make videos of you and your friends being idiots. You're gonna be a YouTuber? No, of course I couldn't do that. So I went to Humber College for architectural technology. Now that being said, I was bored out my mind, and I felt like I was in prison. Literally, some classrooms had no windows and they were 2 hours long, and I felt like I was in prison. And my girlfriend just dumped me too. I was going through the worst, the loneliest experience for something I really hated. I was on the path to pursue something that I chose because I wanted to make people not think I was an idiot. I was thinking, okay, architects are respected, they have money, they have good families, and like nice car. My dad probably like that.
Good job, son.
The teacher who keeps asking me if I applied to college would probably like that. It sounds like a good answer when my friends ask me what I'm going to school for. Okay, I guess. I knew something wasn't right when I got my acceptance letter, and I was feeling like, Okay, why do I not care? I remember one experience specifically really discouraged me, and I think this was the tip. This was literally a tipping point. Yeah, this was my last day in college. There was a project they sent us home with. We had to scale a drawing that was in this $200 textbook that was written in pen by some guy and scanned 1,000,000 times. And I did not understand the assignment completely, because when I scaled up the drawings, it fit on a nice little 8x11 piece of paper. Now, that still took me all night, but I roll up my little paper, I got it in my hand, I'm going to college. I get to the classroom, the instructor, whatever, he's like, yo, take out the pieces of paper, take out your homework. People start unrolling these giant rolled up papers. I'm like, okay, this is my last day. I pulled up to see my dad at his office, and he asked me how school was going. And I don't know how I told him, because this is not like me, but I said, that $7,000 course you paid for, Now what I had in my head was my dad absolutely blows up. To my surprise, he says, oh, I understand that this path isn't for you maybe, and if you think that you should go another path, then now's the time to do it. And I'm thinking, wow, this was way easier than... So yeah, maybe just choose another course and just like, I don't know. Definitely thought you're gonna say something else, but... So I decided business management at the University of the Guelph Humber. Now, in order to switch to business, I needed to wait till they started a new semester. In the meantime, I decided I'd work with my dad and make skits when I'm home. So I did that shit. I moved boxes, I wrote. I moved boxes, I shot. I moved boxes, I edited. I moved boxes, got my ass roasted on World Star a couple more times. We did enough that we eventually got signed to a YouTube network, flown out for a free trip, big parties, big plans for blowing us up. We met celebrities, we made viral videos, we met giant YouTubers who earned a living off this shit. The more good news, the more I was sure that we did not have to go back to school. Told my dad, that's good, man. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, no, you gotta keep it going. No, that's amazing to hear. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, just like make sure you sign up for school and shit, and like just don't be, you're not gonna take the easy way out. We keep pushing. We're like, okay, yeah, we'll sign up. We'll make sure we get signed up and blah, blah, blah. So in the background, we're still doing our skits, we're still pushing. And then thank God for this miracle. The moment my dad was convinced by his wife and our uncle that he should just let us keep going at this once in a lifetime opportunity where we have a chance at making a living off of something we're passionate about. School would always be there, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I would say that was the last moment I almost got caught by the route everything and everyone was pushing me towards. So instinctively and intuitively, I continue to push down this path, and to this day, I'm looking back at that kid that made that choice. I'm thanking it. I managed to meet great people, managed to see a lot of cool shit with my brother, managed to make a cool living off this, see the world a little bit more, open my mind up, and survive ups, downs, changes in trends, platforms, algorithms, formats, because of the passion of the art itself. Now, I'm not no damn Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy or no shit like that, but I'm definitely making a living off some shit that I'd be doing for free. And materials aside, comedy has become the forefront of my mind. Pretty much everything goes through a comedy filter. Even during my most unpleasant experiences, I also see the funny. I could literally be crying and start laughing because I'm crying at what I'm crying at. Comedy has turned my world into like an infinite comedy sketch. In a scary, rapidly changing world, it was humor that became my anchor. It helped me navigate and has been a great friend through some real whack life shit. And I still don't understand what this world is, but I do find comfort in finding the irony and the pointlessness and the redundancy and hypocrisy and funny words and sounds and songs and all the other good stuff in the world. Whatever the case is, I'm thankful for the path that I chose. It always burns me more when I hear my intuition and I go against it and then I'm proven wrong, like I already knew. And that would have been the case, I feel like, if I went to school for business management, like I was supposed to. Not to say I couldn't have made an honest living. I would be bored though. Just going to school for the course I reluctantly chose every day was like, why? What am I doing? And I just couldn't see that for the rest of my life. Now, yes, YouTube did play a huge role, and also I'd probably say YouTube saved my life as well, and social media did too. And being born at this time, in this era, also played a huge part. But at the root of it, comedy dictated what I created. Was the reason I felt I had something to contribute on these platforms, and that's why I say comedy has saved and is still saving my life to this day. Which brings me to the fact that this video has been sponsored by Squarespace. Thank you, Squarespace, for contributing to saving my life and making this path possible. Squarespace is constantly innovating to provide tools that best suit your online business needs. To name a few, maybe you have a hilarious video you want your visitors to check out, but you don't necessarily want to kick them off your website. That'd be mean. Squarespace says no problem. Video Blocks lets you embed videos from platforms like YouTube, Vimeo, and Emoto, so they don't have to leave your website to watch this hilarious video. Maybe you're like me and you have team members that need access to make contributions to your website. Squarespace says no problem. Easily provide access to your boy Bart and allow him the access he needs to do his part and stop being lazy. Or maybe you want to keep an eye on the performance of your business to, I don't know, see where you can improve. Crazy idea. Squarespace says absolutely no problem. Sales, traffic trends, website visits, all this data is at your fingertips to better understand your business at any given time.
Squarespace is blessing the people with a free trial to get moving on your brand spanking new website. Visit squarespace.com for your free trial, and once you're ready to launch, visit squarespace.com/4ye to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
I say all this because one, we never really got personal on this channel. But two, mostly, I hope to relate to people, especially the kids who are getting out of high school and they're being forced into a path like university for something, going to college for something that other people have dictated, that other people view as the only form of success. You go to school, you get the piece of paper, you become a doctor, and yes, successful. You do anything else, then not. I just remember being in that position, feeling completely lost, and just the anxiety of everything around me happening so fast was entirely too much. Feeling like everyone else around me was figuring it out. I got accepted here, I got accepted there, I'm gonna do this, and then I become this, and then there's my job. Everyone else, I'm there like eeny meeny miny mo, catch a tiger. Okay, fine, that one. I just felt like at that moment I could have used definitely someone to talk to, but at least a video like this, just some proof that following what you're into and becoming successful at it is possible. So if you're an aspiring cowboy or something, this is your sign to go get your lasso and catch a cow or whatever they do. Okay, my back hurts, I'm going to bed.
Being a gangster isn't all about drugs, ladies, cars, clothes. It's about being you.